Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am Clay, Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Thursday night, May the 23rd. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Welcome, everyone. This is my last regular show from a standpoint of going every single night, or at least 5 nights a week. I will talk about that at the mid-show sponsor or the mid-show break, but I'm happy that you are all here. Basically going to spend the first half giving my reflections on the Canucks media availability day. We had Rick Tocchet, we had Patrick Alvin, and we had 24 players, 6 groups of 4 that were trotted out to the media today, and some interesting, definitely some interesting nuggets that we learned today, and I'll try and get into as many of them as I can tonight. So moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's Legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thanks for your support as always, and to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, in the Lower Mainland, in the province, in the country, on the continent, or around the world. Thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be watching anyone else, doing anything else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or all three. But the fact that you are here with me right now, know how much I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. And I thank you for making me your late night choice for live Canucks content. This is how you get involved today. You can subscribe to the channel so you get active in the chat section and get notified of my videos every single day. You can like the video. We have a slow start, 35 on YouTube, another 25 watching on X. Hopefully those numbers bump up a little bit as we go. They usually bump up around the 20-minute mark, but we'll see, or they ramp up. But you can definitely like the video, like the fact that we are together, like the fact that we got to hear from all the Canucks players and management today, and like the fact that, as Justin alluded to, that there was some spiciness today. So you can leave a donation like Hall of Fame member Justin Credible just did. Justin gets the donation train out of the station tonight. Very grateful. So let's give Justin some love in the chat. Well, $5 donation from Justin says, forget Cody versus The Rock or Rock versus Roman Reigns. Give us J-Pat versus Hronik for WrestleMania 41. I will get to that in a few minutes. Thank you, Justin, for the generous donation. Let's give Justin some love in the chat. You can gift a membership. And yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, Puck Me, this is your warning. We got some good mods here and myself, so please just keep it clean. Happy that you are here, but keep it clean. You can gift a membership. It's a $5 donation and give someone franchise membership for a month. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership, and if you can use your monthly membership message, your M monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. So I'm going to recap the media availability for you, at least the things that stood out to me. And then we will, you can kind of see from my poll question, those are some of the things that stood out to me. And then I will do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I'll get to all of you. So the 4 main stories that I put, before that, gotta do this. Thank you, Carol. Legendary Carol Bovenlander coming through as always. Okay, Puck Me, that's fine. It says, "Love you, Clay. I just want you to say my name." Fine. But you can say something else that's a little more redeeming than what you said. But all good. Glad that you are here. Puck me. Yes. Gotta be careful how I say that, but nothing wrong with that. Thank you, legendary Carol Bovenlander, gifting 5 memberships, equivalent of $25 donation. And welcome back to franchise membership. Or no, I think these are all welcome backs. Sarah and her sweaty armpits, Erwin, John, Indigo, and J-Dub. So welcome back to all of you, and welcome. Thank you, Carol, for the donation. Let's give Carol some love in the chat for sure. So many storylines stemming from today. By the way, everyone saw Connor McDavid scored in double overtime. The Edmonton Oilers defeated the Dallas Stars. That's painful. But I will. Yes, Edmonton's up 1-0. Well, Sarah, if Sarah tells me to stop making that joke, I will certainly stop saying it. But Sarah was really good. All you guys are really, really good sports, actually. But Sarah, all you got to do is tell me to stop, and I will stop referencing your sweaty armpits. And I don't know that firsthand knowledge. How would I know that unless we meet? But and Jody says free agency is gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, so let me talk about that. So I put in the poll question the 4 things that really stood out to me. There was organizational alignment from Patrick Alvin to Rick Tocchet to all the players. Everyone's so proud of playing for Vancouver, so proud of the fan base, the playoff atmosphere, playing for the crest. What's on the front of the jersey and not the back, like they like to say. So that's what I heard. I also heard some important injury news that I'll get to. PD, Besser, Demko. I also, and some guys denying that they were injured. I also saw a lot of uncertainty. All the UFAs were asked about being UFAs, so that was a big thing. And then, of course, the verbal jousting between Jeff Patterson and Philip Hronik. So I will get to all of these in order, and then I'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to do that. Then I'll make sure that I turn the second half over to all of you. So it's interesting. The Canucks stream this live on their X account. And then, you know how there's 20 players on an active roster, right? For a hockey game, 12 forwards, usually 6 defensemen. You can go 11 to 7, but basically 18 skaters and 2 goalies makes 20. And then you usually have 2 or 3 healthy scratches. So the Canucks did a perfect 24 players today, 6 groups of 4. So you're wondering, well, how come didn't they end the season with 20? How did they get 24? Well, they had Thatcher Demko, who was not on the active roster. They had Noah Juleson. They had Mark Friedman. And then they must have had 13 forwards come out, right? They had 1 extra goalie, Demko, 2 extra defensemen, Juleson and Friedman, and then 1 extra forward. Like I didn't add them up in my head, but what do you call it? Yeah, because they had all 13 forwards out there, including Amon, Lafferty, and so on and so forth. So that makes your 24. You had 13 forwards, you had 8 defensemen, and you had 3 goalies. So they had 6 groups of 4. And basically, with all due respect to the guys in the later groups, they kind of went in order of importance. Well, maybe the top 2 groups were about the same. So the first group that came out was loaded. It was Pedersen, it was Besser, it was Quinn Hughes. There was a big 3, and then Casey DeSmith, which was kind of I guess you can't have 4 the most popular. Like if they put JT Miller with them, then I think all the guys, everyone would want to ask everyone a bunch of questions, and but they wanted to spread it out a little bit. So it was Besser, Pedersen, Hughes, and DeSmith. Then it went Miller, Demko, Lindholm, and Myers. Then you can see it's kind of getting less and less important. Then you had Garland, Zadorov, Bluger, and Suter, Joshua, Hronik, Susi, and Cole, Hoglander, Juleson, Mikheyev, and DiGiuseppe, and then Shelov's, Lafferty, Friedman, and Niels Oman. So I'm going to talk a bit about each group, talk about what we heard, and then I'll kind of do the I'll highlight donations as they come in and membership gifts, unless it becomes too distracting, unless there are just so many of them that I have to wait until I get through the next 10 minutes or so. So the first group was Besser, Pedersen, Hughes, and DeSmith. And basically the biggest thing that came out of this was Petey had a knee injury. Petey suffered a knee injury in January. Rick, he didn't say what kind of injury. He didn't say what knee, But then Rick Tocchet later said it was tendonitis. There was some talk, do you shut PD down for a bit to get him healthy? But he obviously played through it, but it obviously slowed him down. So Pettersson had a knee injury. Then Brock Besser explained what happened to his blood clot issue. He blocked a shot in game 1 on the Canucks, on the Edmonton Oilers power play. His calf started to hurt later that week. And then they started to find a bit of clotting in his calf that they thought he could play through. And then it kind of spread to different veins and to the point where it was unsafe for him to play in game 7. Obviously, he wanted to play in game 7. PD said his knee injury will be fine. It's not going to require surgery or anything. You just got to give it some rest. Especially if it's tendonitis, inflammation, that makes sense. As for Besser, he's on blood thinners as long as he doesn't openly bleed a lot or get hit in the head. And the worst, I guess, would be getting a hit in the head and making him openly bleed. So as long as that doesn't happen, he should be okay. Quinn Hughes said he was not hurt and he thought he played well throughout the playoffs. And then Casey DeSmith basically said he got hurt in game 3 or against Nashville. And then he thought, I think he heard something pop in his knee or his groin, or I can't remember what he said. Something pop in your groin. That doesn't sound good. But that he thought he was good to play in game 4, but they wanted to be safe. And then Sheelovs basically took the net and didn't look back. So that's basically what came out from the main group. Pettersson obviously wants to play better. Besser is just another hurdle that he's got to get through. Hughes would not admit to an injury. And credit to him, he could have easily said that he had an injury and that's why he didn't play bad, or that's why he didn't play as well, or he got outplayed by Evan Bouchard, but he didn't go there. And then Casey DeSmith, obviously UFA, so not sure if he's going to come back. So that was the first group. Matthew, I won't read it, but I'll thank you for the donation. I'll put this into G-rated language. Pettersson, Jeff Patterson, a little boy for, I guess, for getting a rise out of Hronik, and I'll talk about that in a second. Let's give some love to Matthew. Thank you for the donation, and thank you for being here, Matthew. So that was the first group. Then the second group was JT Miller, Thatcher Demko, Elias Lindholm, and Tyler Myers. Myers basically said he wants to be here. And he thought the defense was the strongest it's ever been since he's been here. Elias Lindholm did not commit to saying he 100% wants to come back, but he said he enjoyed it here. He enjoyed the playoff run, and that they're going to try and at least make some decisions in the next few days already. Then you had Thatcher Demko saying this was the hardest thing he's ever had to face in his career. Just the injury after game 1, didn't get into what it was. But in essence, that, he's not worried about, he has to change his playing style. He's not worried about being injury prone. Said goalies get hurt all the time. And he is very affirming in his affirmation, his compliments of both Archer Sheelovs and Casey DeSmith. And then JT Miller is so good. I just love how he's the emotional heartbeat of the team. Very well spoken. Very honest, saying it sucks that they're not playing anymore, yet proud of the season. And all the guys said the same thing, that they would love to be playing, but they're very proud of the season that they had. And they're really taken aback by the fan base in Vancouver. And Miller mentioned that playoff hockey in Vancouver on Sunday days, seeing all the jerseys and car flags is something pretty special here in Vancouver. So nothing, they pressed both Hughes and Miller about the power play. Hughes was more, got to look at it again. Miller just said they weren't playing with confidence on the power play. So that was good. Nothing too crazy in that second group. Third group was Garland, Zadorov, Bluger, and Suter. Suter's going to be here for another year. So it just talked about how he's kind of Swiss Army knife, can play up and down the lineup on either position, forward or center, the winger or center. Bluger talked about that he wouldn't mind coming back because he was on a one-year contract. Then Connor Garland just talked about the confidence and how he's getting, how he had a good season and he really enjoyed the playoff run. And Zadorov was hilarious. Zadorov, someone asked him, "Do you think you've price yourself out of the market. He goes, why? What do you think I should get paid? That was pretty funny. And then he also made a comment. He says how much he loves being here. He also made a comment about what hockey was like in Vancouver versus Calgary. And then he said something like, well, Calgary's not even the number one hockey team in Alberta. And then I think he realized how that sounded. And he kind of walked it back a little bit. Oh, I mean, Edmonton's a bigger city, but whatever. It's pretty funny. So actually, I think Calgary's the bigger city when it comes to population. Regardless, it was pretty good. Zadorov, obviously, very comfortable in front of the media. Everyone loves him. So I think his stock, despite them joking about it, I do think that it is going up every single day. So that was the third group. Fourth group was Joshua, Hronek, Susie, and Cole. I'll get to Hronek last. Joshua talked about the fact that, yeah, he wants to come back. So all the UFAs were saying the same thing, that they would like to come back, but it's out of their hands. So I don't know if it's completely out of their hands. Obviously, they're referring to negotiations between agents and the management of the Canucks, but I think it's a bit in your hands. If you tell your agent by hook or by crook, I'm willing to take a bit less money to stay here, but we'll see. So Joshua talked about his good season, how surprisingly good the season was. Carson Soucy talked about how it sucked that he went through 2 major injuries, but he wants to come back, fully healthy. Remember, he's here for 2 more years. And then Ian Cole would, as in contrast to Philip Hronek, Ian Cole would not use injuries as an excuse. Didn't deny he was injured, but also didn't deny he was injured, but didn't admit to what his injury was. And then hopefully, I'm glad they didn't ask him why he was responsible for so many goals in the Edmonton series. Then the one that everyone's talking about, the exchange between Hronek and Jeff Patterson. Hronek was asked 3 sets of questions. The first question was just about, more of a general question about a season from Thomas Drance. It was fine. And then it went back to a couple players. Then went back to Hronek. It was Jeff Patterson. And Patterson led by saying that, it was like a tale of 2 seasons. Before Christmas, very, very productive, a lot of points, effective. And then second half of the season, not nearly as effective, and the playoffs included. And the numbers bore that out. So then J-Pat basically said to Hronek, do you care to share anything about were you injured or whatever it may be? And then actually the first part was J-Pat just basically saying, it's a tale of 2 seasons. And then Hronek said, yeah, I agree. It was I had a good first half. I didn't have a good second half. And then Jeff Patterson's second question was, why was that? Fair question. And Hronek started to get a bit more tense, and he answered, well, if I knew what was happening, then I would have fixed it, wouldn't I? And then, so that was kind of a defensive answer. And then the one that's getting the lot of play is Patterson then said, well, were you injured? And then Hronek went, no, just like that. And then J-Pat followed up with, we've given you your space all season, and we're just trying to, get an answer. We're just trying to ask you about your season. I can't remember what the second part, but I know he started off with, we've given you your space all season. And then that really set Hronek off, and he says, well, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? You're telling me that I'm injured, or you're telling me, like, it was very, very standoffish. And then it went to someone else. Then Hronek answered a third question later, a third set of questions. And this one was from Farhan Lalji, just asking Hronek to talk about what it's like to play with Quinn Hughes. And then I think in the 3 to 4 minutes between the J-Pat exchange and the answer to Farhan Lalji, Hronek may have realized that he didn't come across great, and he was a lot more likable and open in his last set of answers to Farhan. Okay, and then it got some play on social media. I know Thomas Drance, Blake Price, others were talking about it on social. I texted with a couple of reporters who I'm close to and who I trust, just to give me the vibe in the room. And this is my take, and I'd love to hear your take, when I get to the second half of the show. Jeff Patterson is good. I respect the heck out of him. He's always been really good to me. He's good at what he does. He's not afraid to ask tough questions. In fact, I would say of the reporters, he's certainly asked. If you had to rate everyone on the tough question-o-meter, Jeff Patterson is certainly on one end of that spectrum. So he's not afraid to ask tough questions, and most players get it. They get it, and they know that J-Pat's good. He knows his stuff. He's fair, and Jeff Patterson. I've even asked him directly. I said, I remember having an exchange with J-Pat on the way that him and Botch were questioning Louis Eriksson back when, and Jeff basically said to me, if you don't ask the question, you're not asking the question to create a moment or get a rise out of them. You're asking the question to give them a good opportunity to respond, and that response can go this way, it can go this way. And in today's situation, it certainly went one way, and it felt, I don't know about you, I felt a little uncomfortable. Now, watching it, now a lot of people would say, well, Philip Hronek just seems like a really, really grumpy guy, or he's not really good with people. And J-Pat even alluded to the fact that we barely heard from Hronek all season, maybe 2 or 3 times at the most, if that. Now, I thought it was kind of funny when J-Pat immediately said, we've given you your space all season. So I don't know if I'd lead with that, but I think he was making the point that that we haven't heard from Philip Hronek all season, and this is Canucks year-end media availability. This is your chance to say something, or to put all the critics to silence all the critics. So in hindsight, I think if Philip Hronek simply said, he didn't, kind of what Ian Cole did. He didn't have to say, I'm injured, or this is what was wrong with me. He could have simply said, yeah, I did not play my best, or, I'm looking forward to working hard in the off season and coming back stronger for next year. And that's it. And then I don't think J-Pat, I don't think anyone would have pressed him. Okay, fine. But what's your injury? It didn't like that. It wasn't like that for Ian Cole. So I just thought, I was going to say it's a whole lot out of nothing, yet I just spent 5 minutes talking about it. But it was interesting because that was the only testy exchange about testy exchange for the entire day. So yeah, I know not everyone's. Is it about picking sides? Some of you are going to think Hronek sounded a little grumpy. Others are going to say that maybe they didn't like the line of questioning, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle. I thought the question was fair. I thought Hronek could have answered it better. But it doesn't mean I don't like Hronek. It doesn't mean I don't wish the Canucks re-sign. I'm like, I'm not going to make that much of a leap. And even J-Pat, I saw him on his X account saying he's over it. Like, this is just part of it. Like, and J-Pat's really good about that. Either, I don't want to say compartmentalizing, but basically doing his job, asking tough questions. And sometimes you're going to get some good answers. Sometimes you're going to get some feisty exchanges. And it doesn't sweat J-Pat, and it shouldn't sweat Hronek. So there we go. It shouldn't sweat me. It shouldn't sweat us. Yet I just spent like 7 minutes talking about it. So there we go. So that was group number 4. Group number 5 was Bovenlander. And then, as the groups, the first group went for 17 minutes. The second group went for 15 minutes. The third group went for 12 minutes. That fourth group went for just under 12 minutes. Then the last 2 groups went just for between 6 and 7 minutes. So one group was Bovenlander, Juleson, Mikheyev, and DiGiuseppe. Bovenlander he talked about how much he loved this experience. Playoffs. Juleson said, yeah, he just worked hard every day, tried to stay positive. But like the experience, Mikheyev admitted that, he didn't obviously produce offensively as much as he wanted to, but he said there's other parts of their game that are important too, like defense and skating and turning over pucks. So he basically, he tried to express that he was disappointed, that he knows he can play better, but there are other elements of his game that he did like. And then Phil DiGiuseppe just talked about how he's getting some rest despite having the newborn son, and that he loved this playoff experience as well. Then the last group, actually, I don't know what order these last 2 groups went in, was Shelovs, Lafferty, Friedman, and Aman. Shelov said, yeah, he's ready to be the number 2, and he felt good, confident, and he loved the experience. Makes sense. Credited Thatcher Demko as well for mentoring him. Sam Lafferty, not a lot about him. He's a UFA. He just said he enjoyed the experience. Then you had Mark Friedman said he just worked really hard. He knows his role as a 28-year-old journeyman defenseman. And then Niels Aman just kind of talked a little bit about that playoff hockey gave him a taste of how he has to be a better player. So all that happened. And then Rutherford and Alvin came out for, Alvina and Tocchet came out for another half an hour themselves. And yeah, I love Patrick Alvin set the stage right at the start. He says, yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that I'm talking to you guys right now because we only made it halfway through the playoffs. We lost our last game. Of course, 31 teams are going to say they lost. Well, 15 teams in the playoffs are going to say they lost their final game of the season. But I love how Patrick Alvin was smart enough to acknowledge that the team exceeded expectations, but also in no uncertain terms said that they are not satisfied. And I love hearing that from Patrick Alvin. I absolutely love it. And he admits it's going to be a challenge to re-sign all his UFAs. He's going to create opportunities for maybe 2 or 3 young guys to make the roster. In my head, I'm thinking guys like Atu Ratu or Baines or Podkolzin maybe. And then Rick Tocchet was good. He credited the players. He credited the fans. He said the players did everything that he asked them to, starting from off-season workouts. Well, I guess except for Hsmfangirl, off-season training regimen, coming back to camp ready. And he obviously had a really, really good first season with the Vancouver Canucks. So there's so much more, but I'm just going to ask you to go watch it. You can find it. Hockey on Fanatics, the view, they put all the videos up. Canucks have put up half of them, or you can watch the whole replay on X. So I hope that was a good recap for most of you. I'm going to end this poll now and see what you guys are saying. I said, what was the most memorable thing about today's? 42% of you are saying the injury news, i.e. PD, Besser, Demko to Smith, so on and so forth. Right behind 38% of you was JPAT versus Hronek. 14% was alignment throughout the organization. That's what I was kind of talking about, from Alvin to talking to the players. And only 5% was the uncertain future of the UFAs. But, I think I get that the other 3 are maybe more top of mind, but it wasn't lost on me that Lindholm, Zadorov, Myers, Joshua, Bluger, all Friedman, Lafferty, all UFAs, and then 2 RFAs in She Loves. Did I say Tyler Myers too? And then in She Loves and in Philip Hronek. So thank you for letting me go through that entire thing for you. I hope that was helpful for those of you that did not watch any or saw snippets or clips, not clippets. And for those of you that watched the whole thing, you can always comment about what I missed or anything that glaring that I failed to mention. So let me do my mid-show sponsor read and then my mid-show announcements, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. So hold your questions for a second, but I'll get to all of you. Actually, right before, this is the one comment I will read before the break, is I like this from Ahmed. Says, what's interesting that Alvin said that he thought Hronek could play on his own pair. Yeah, that's a good point. He did say that. He said he liked Hughes and Hronek together at times, but he think that they could each anchor their own pair. So Justin, thank you. Hawk Talk, hold your questions or re-ask them coming out of the break on the other side. Clip it's for sure. The next trend. Yes. Victor, I am never, ever trending about anything. Shout out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. Use the link coachpatrickliu.com/clay and receive a free 5-day workout. Thank you to Gassy Jet Art, maker of that fine artwork. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. New sale on right now, 35% site-wide sale. Use tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off your next purchase of Vessi shoes. You can subscribe to the channel so you can get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You can like the video. 80 of you watching on YouTube, thank you. Another 110 watching on X, thank you. But only 15 likes, so I think we can do better than that. So if you're on the YouTube side, make sure you hit the like button. You can leave a donation like Justin and Matthew have done. Thank you. You can gift memberships like Carol has done. Thank you. You can buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership, use your M, your monthly membership message. And for listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. A lot of you have asked me going forward, what are you going to do? There's no way I'm going to fill 5 nights a week. So as I've hinted, and I shared with members yesterday, going forward, I'm going to do 2 shows a week, Sunday and Wednesday, but at 10 p.m., not at 11. So this will be a good experiment unless I have a late work function or something. I need to go Sunday and Wednesday at 10 p.m. So it's a little bit earlier, obviously an hour earlier. That's probably going to be better for me and my rest. That might be better for many of you. For some of you, you might like the 11 o'clock late night shows, but in an effort to get more rest and just because there isn't as much going on, I'm going to make it 10 o'clock. So I'm going to try it. 10 o'clock on Sunday and Wednesday. I will probably tack on a games night on Sunday night. So I could see Sunday night being a longer stream, like about an hour to hour 15. Maybe I go 45 minutes of Canucks talk or whatever. And then I go games night. Then every second week, we are still going Canucks After Dark every second Monday. So that's, and then Wednesdays will be the other stream, but then every second week it'll be for members only. So you basically, and any given week, it could be 2 or 3 different times that I'll have shows, and we will see how I do. Yeah, a lot of you guys, not making fun, but you're mentioning my sleep or lack thereof. Yeah, for a 49-year-old man turning 50, I think I do pretty good with an average of 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but I could be even better with more sleep. G. Ellis says, Clay, just go on 2 hours of sleep a day. Chris says, I thought you don't have to sleep. And then Taylor says, just like 2 years ago, indeed. I can only, there's only so many things you can do because I do want to spread them out. I don't want to go Sunday, Monday. That doesn't make sense. So Sunday and Wednesday seems to make sense. Then it doesn't affect my Tuesday, late night Tuesday prayer group. No problem, Shannon. Do what you got to do. Just make sure you come to the Sunday night ones then for sure. For sure. Jay is asking, when am I going to do that donation stream? Basically, the pay to stream where I will stream as long as people keep donating. I'm going to look at my calendar, given some speaking engagements I have, given my birthday, given some other things, and I will see when it makes sense. I want to do a weekend. I'm thinking maybe the 14-15 weekend in June. We will see. Yes, Shannon turning 55 on June 5th. I'm turning 50 on June 22nd. Clay could have been 5'8" if he's Jack. And man, if I could give donations out, this could be the best message of the night. Jack, do you know how tall I actually am? Because I'm wondering if you're saying that adds 6 inches to my height, 1 inch, 2 inches. Jack, do you know how? Actually, let's do this before we get into serious chat. I'm 52, the old fart club. There we go, GLS. I'm gonna join you in a month. So, and Angel's 43. Nice. And on May 25th. That's on Saturday. Well, happy 43rd, Angelo. How come you look so young in your picture? So, Shannon, are you working? Are you working on your birthday? All right. So before we go. Guess how tall, I've actually said this before on my stream, but for 1 minute, guess how tall, or more appropriately, how short I am. Gotcha, Angel. So, Angel, you're 43. Gotcha. Okay. Paulman says that I am 5'6". Okay. I'll tell you, GLS, I'm bowling in a tournament during the day, and then I have some people over at night. Jay Kid says 5'7". John Chan says 5'5". Lyndon says 5'6". Sarah says 5'6". Jack says 5'6". Cotrop says 5'6". Matthew says 5'2". Tyler says 5'9". You are working on your birthday, Shannon. That's cool. Pastor Dan, 5'8". Ahmed says 5'3". Victor says 5'5". Angela says, I'm not sure. Angela's saying 59 or 5'9". I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's fine. I'm just looking for something, you guys, as we're chatting here. How do I search my own Twitter account? How do I search my own Twitter account? Because if I can show you this, it'll be pretty funny. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay. Clay Emo height, just right. Thank you, Paulman. 7'7". Yeah, try reducing both of those numbers. Yeah, pure guess. I said I was short. Shannon says, Shannon, you've met me. I'm not 5'3". Okay. I'm indeed 5'6". I think I pretty much mentioned here. Me, Sean, and Jake are all about the same height. I think actually Sean's probably 5'7" or 5'8". Jacob's maybe 5'7". But yes, I'm a massive 5'6". But you know what's more like? I'm proud to be 5'6". I'm not embarrassed about it or anything like that. But one thing that I will have to share with you, and I've shared this before, Gary Bettman is taller than me. So I met him at the All-Star game back in January 2019 in San Jose. We took a selfie. So basically I said to him, I said, looking forward to hosting you in Vancouver at the draft later that year. He said, thank you. And then we took this picture, and it's not like I'm 5 feet closer to the camera. No, he's a good 2 inches taller than me. So I actually said here, whenever I need an ego check, I think of Gary Bettman being taller than me. So he must be 5'7" or 5. Sarah, I thought Gary Bettman was like 4'11". So what? Yeah, after I took this picture, so I didn't really think about it when I was standing next to him. I wasn't measuring up or saying, hey, Gary, why don't we stand back to back? So I took the selfie, and then I looked at it, I said, what the heck? I'm 2 inches shorter than him. Then I realized whenever we see Bettman, Justin, if you weren't in the pic, your chat would be full of booze right now. Whenever Bettman, we see him pictured on the ice, usually is presenting a Stanley Cup or something, he's standing next to big hockey players who are also standing on skates. So that's, a 6'2" hockey player would look 6'4" or whatever, add it 1 or 2 inches. So Bettman, I think he looks shorter than he is because he's always standing next to big hockey players on the ice, on skates, I should say. And then of course you look, yeah. So yes, Gary Bettman is 2 inches taller than I am. There's some useless trivia that you probably didn't know and don't need to know. Thank you for everything you've done this season. Love your stuff. Big bless from Canuck fan from Sweden. Oh, hope you have a great summer. Jonas, thank you for being here. So awesome that you are here watching from Sweden. I appreciate everyone watching from overseas, everyone watching from this side on this continent, and of course, around the world, locally, whatever it may be. Thank you, Jonas. I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you watching all the way from Sweden. All right, let's go. 20 minutes. Your questions mostly. Maybe Buttman was wearing pads like Tom Cruise. Don't sell yourself short. No, I am pretty short. If you were in the arena today, Asmita, who would you ask a question to, and what would you ask them? Yeah, I'd probably ask some of the young guys what the playoff experience was like for them, and I probably asked the UFAs how badly do you want to stay, even though that probably would get the same answer out of everyone. And maybe I would ask like someone, if I was pretty confident, how would you evaluate your own play through the season and through the playoffs, and maybe what's one thing that you can do better next year, something like that. Here we go. By the way, Tom Clayman and the gang, I try to explain to a friend from work how at every stream you would add one name to either the win or the loss, the defeated or undefeated thing. And for what turned out to be like a 15-second sight gag, it took me like 5 to 7 minutes to explain the whole thing to her. Having fun with Tom Clayman, Hronik Annoyed Man, and not having fun with Bester Blood Clot Man, PD Injured Man, and Demko Hurt Man. There you go. What do you make of the Clay and Pedersen and nagging knee injury since January that got worse? They didn't rest him. Yeah, they rested Lindholm. Maybe PD insisted that he played. I don't know. Great point, Derek. Yeah, that certainly raised some eyebrows. And that was like one of the very first things that was said today. I'm not questioning the medical staff, but there's probably a lot there that we're not privy to, obviously. Would you rather Gensel for 9.5 or Bertuzzi and DeBrus for a combined 10? At the end of the year, Guns will be 30, Bertuzzi 29. I like Nebraska a lot. You're getting 2 top 9 players. Yeah, Genso's good, but oh, that's a tough one. I was going to say take the 2 players for one, but Genso would sure look great on PD's wing. Okay. If I had to pick one as appealing as the Genso one is, I'd take the 2 players. Eurovision. What's Eurovision? I'm statistically average. I'm average in a lot of ways. Why didn't Talkit or medical staff rest PD if he had tendonitis? Yeah, I don't know, Ahmed. I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. Clay, nothing here with the players and the coaches. What would you do to improve the team for next year, knowing what after hearing the press conference? I agree. And even before Alvin said it today, I think they got to upgrade their top 6. I think get another good scoring winger to play with PD. Do you think for Hronek being previously in Detroit, not having much media attention and also his playoffs, do you think he was overwhelmed? No, I mean, I wouldn't say overwhelmed. These are grown men making a lot of money. I just think he's not good with media and doesn't enjoy it. But I do think there's something to be said about not a lot of experience. Simon, I send out the hockey. Simon, are you in the hockey pool? I can't remember, Simon, if you're actually in that hockey pool. But yeah, it's going well. I'm still hovering near the top, but I'm not at the top. And I want Dallas and Florida to win. My assumption is PD and team thought it wasn't as bad or wouldn't get as bad as it ultimately did, but it cost us the playoffs. Palman, that's totally fair, or a judgment mistake. Yeah, I thought it was a funny moment when Miller, because when Miller walked in, I think Craig McEwen had just given that group like a 1 or 2 minute warning, or he basically said, "Okay, Drance, Farhan, you guys get the last questions." And then yes, Miller walked in and said, "Oh, you guys are still here." That was pretty funny. All good guys. I trend towards the 2 younger guys, Jack, of Ehlers or Natchez, just because they are younger. I'd be open to Chandler Stevenson. I like him a lot, and Vegas is very deep down the middle. Oh, it's a song contest. Thank you. Same medical staff that was around for Tanner Pearson. Perhaps, Michael. I don't know for sure. Do you really believe that we could finish next season top of the division or even first again in playoffs? Playoffs, yes. Top of division, not necessarily. Not if Edmonton continues to play well. Remember, we just caught them. They just had a really bad first 2 months of the season. But I could see us finishing 2nd or 3rd in our division for sure. Darren in Victoria using his monthly membership message. Thank you, Darren. Around for 5 months. Do you think the Canucks have the most like-mindedness in thinking between coaching and management, staff, and team history? Can it translate to a cup? So thank you, Darren, for using your Triple M. Let's give Darren some love in the chat. And yeah, at least in recent years, definitely I see alignment between coaching and management. And it's not obviously going to guarantee a cup, but it'll help. It'll help for sure. I just love how everyone seems to be on the same page. And of course, you can add Rutherford to that mix as well. Ahmed, I hear some people saying go after Tanev. He'll probably make 2 or 3 million less than what Hronek wants. Was the game-winning goal his fault? Or I can't remember if he chipped it up the sideboards or if it got poked off his stick. Yeah, Coach Rob is doing pretty well. Oilers game dragged on a little. Well, I don't think they're worried about us, Tyler. Oh, Marner's younger than Ehlers even. I did not know that. What? Someone was set on fire? Oh my gosh. Yes, Luke, it was great to meet you. Yeah, Luke, it was great to meet you as well at the game. Thank you for saying hi. Hope to bump into you another game in the future. I hope so too. Too bad the Canucks weren't playing the Stars tonight. Yeah, I know. But Luke, it was great. Thanks for coming up to say hi. Hey, Steve, casual hockey fan. All good. Welcome. Got a Canucks question. I know it's been a while. Why did they ever change the color to the blue and green? Does blue and green have any significance to Vancouver? That's a really good question. I wonder if it had to do with John McCaw and Orca Bay buying the Canucks. And if they wanted to go Orca Bay, they wanted to go with a more BC type feel, i.e. water, forest, blue and green. I have no clue. That's just my guess. You're always welcome here, Steve. Are you excited for the upcoming Summer Olympics? Yeah, a little bit. But as I mentioned yesterday, I like track and I like basketball. Should we regret trading Kuzmenko? Chris, I can't tell you what to do. I don't. I know it's a lot to give up for Lindholm, but it's tough to say. And some might say, well, if Lindholm doesn't resign here, that seemed like a lot to give up. Brustevich, Kuzmenko, but I don't regret it. Happy birthday to Tyler's grandpa. Are you confident in Rutherford and Alvin to make the smart choices? Yes, absolutely. Yes. They've shown it already. Besides the injury, what were their biggest issues in the playoffs that cost us some, our power play? Our power play. No power in our power play. 4-minute power play that went to waste. Yeah, exactly. Trees and water. There you go. If we don't sign Hronek for this $8 million, can we get Dylan Domenko, a natural right-hand defensive shutdown PK to partner with Hughes? Can we entice Tyler Toffoli for left wing? Imagine. Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about free agency and the fact that we have so many free agents of ourselves, this team could look radically different next year. Yeah, despite how good they were. Oh, you're from Philly. Awesome, Steve. Welcome. Well, it's late over there. Thank you. It was Tana's fault. You're right. Rare mistake. Yeah, he got jumped behind the net, right? And the puck got poked up the boards. Yeah, Orca Bay. There you go. He's confident finding the next Dakota Joshua. I feel that means Alvin feels Joshua's price himself. Yeah, I thought about that too. I just think he's talking about he'd be fine if he had 2 Dakota Joshua. So I wouldn't take it as a slam dunk that means he's leaving, but I hear what you are saying. Blue Ocean, Green Forest. Simon's not in the hockey pool. Thank you, Simon. Yeah, you should come here, Steve. We're too slow. Our wingers are bad. Well, I wouldn't say bad, but yeah, team speed was not great. Do you think Canucks dodge a bullet by not advancing because everyone hates Sutherland in Vancouver? Would have no, Fangirl. Of course not. Of course not. I would take Kelly Sutherland for 7 games if it means we're playing in the 3rd round. No, I do not think the Canucks dodge a bullet by not advancing. I would dare you ask anyone in this chat, and they would rather have the Canucks advance, regardless of who their referee is going to be. I know that's not what you're asking. So the way you use dodge a bullet, though, it sounds like that means you get lucky. No, I don't think that at all. I want them to be playing. Blue and green jersey accents too. Oh, of course. Yeah, when they first came in. Of course. If only first round picks only make it to the NHL, do you foresee changes in the AHL management team? Oh, I see what you're saying. Is we need more. Yeah, that's true, because you look at who's next and you get excited about Bovenlander, Lekaramaki, who are all first round picks. DPD's a 2nd round pick or a later pick. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're really happy with the way Abbotsford has launched out there. I don't know. Although there's rumors about Jeremy Colleton leaving. Toffoli wants to be a Canuck player. Canucks need to cut the recycling of players like Tanev and Toffoli. Be more excited about Tanev than Toffoli. 2 Dakota Joshua's. Oh, yeah. Great minds thinking like Paulman. 2026 NHL players can play Olympics again. Yes. Do you know the reason why they stopped lending? Well, it was financial. And when I say financial, it was insurance. There's always fight over who's going to insure these players. The NHL doesn't want to pay for the insurance. So I think that's usually the biggest issue when it comes to Canucks. NHL players not playing in the Olympics. Top 4 favorite Canucks of all time. Well, Luongo's number 1 for sure. All time, I'd go Luongo, Sedins, and Linden. I know those are easy picks, but those are them. Blue and green are the original Canucks colors. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone who's pointed that out. The downtown business is dodged a bullet. Yes. Fair, Kuzmenko, freed up 5.5. Brustevich, and first round. Yep. Oh, the Flames have already got rid of Yoni Yormo. I did not know that. Yeah, a top 6 winger. Gensel kind of checks that box, and then I don't know who the UFAs are. I have to look that up, like the other UFAs. Hey, Julia, the schedule usually doesn't get released till August or so, but yes, I'm excited too. 4 years, a long time in NHL, so Jimbo ran out of time. PA doesn't need to go backwards. I hear what you're saying. Yes, Carolina has even more uncertainty than us. Toffoli chemistry with PD. Yeah, maybe Toffoli. He's not very fast though, but he's good. Why didn't PD rest in January with his injury for a few games while the Canucks having a buffer in the standings and wasn't at risk? The rest would have helped. Yeah, Justin, it's crazy, right? Because the All-Star game, which was at the end of January, coming out of that, the Canucks were never the same. And that's when PD was probably suffering from his injury. I don't know. I don't know how bad it was. I don't know what the conversations were in terms of the team. Yeah. I hope Canes start losing. They keep acting like every year is that you're winning to win the cup. Yeah, but they don't get close. Bure, nice. Hey, Helen. Does Bovenlander get some NHL time towards the end of next season? I think he'll be one of those classic like Hughes and others, Besser, where depends when his college season ends. They might put him directly into some games, but not if we're only if we're out of a playoff race, which I don't think we will be. It's his fault that McKay was in the top 6 and he saw McKay as a middle 6 guy. 4.75 for middle 6 guy that isn't great. Yes, Ahmed, I heard that. The other interesting thing is, to me, by definition, top 6 is first and second line, middle 6 is second and third line, and bottom 6 is third and fourth line. Like that's to me the literal definition of top 6, middle 6, and bottom 6. So top 6 and middle 6, they share the second line, if you know what I'm saying, right? But others point out to me that you never call a first line player a top 6. So in essence, a top 6 refers to the bottom of that, the second line. Middle 6 refers to the bottom of the middle, third line, and bottom 6 refers to the bottom of that fourth line. So whereas I think top 6 means the first 2 lines, middle 6 means second and third line, and bottom 6 means the third and fourth line, others were saying no, it's a saying, but you never call first liners top 6. It's either first line, top 6, which is second line, middle 6, which is third line, and then bottom 6 with this fourth line. I still can't wrap my head around that. I like my idea better. Patrick Liney. All playoff videos in the last month, all the past key moments were vividly played over and over again. Yeah. Well, I think the social media team for the Canucks, their production team, did a really good job of creating a lot of hype. Don Waddell might leave. Hopefully he can toss us Gensel for McKay. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work. Tendonitis is pretty bad. Yep. The timing of his injury. Hey, nice to see you, Shiraz. Corresponds with his performance drop. Gensel, DeBrusque, Bertuzzi, Toffoli, Declare, and Sam Reinhart, all top 6 guys should go. How many of them are RFAs? Let's talk. And how many are UFAs? Horvat. Oh, I see what you're saying. They past years. Horvat is never did any of these videos. They wiped him clean during the bubble playoffs. He had many beautiful playoff goals in the bubble. That's true. He did. But do they show a lot of ex-Canucks players that are currently playing for other teams? I get it if they're retired, but do they show? I don't remember seeing. They either show players that are still with the team or players that are retired, right? Reinhardt wants to stay in Florida. I like to tell people I'm a top 10 kind of guy, 5 to 10. Love it, Paul. I'm going to start using that. Gensel's expensive. Bertuzzi would be poetic in a way. Simon, I'll probably do a meetup later in the summer. Not to start off the summer, but later in the summer when I get back from my trips. Alvin thought Mick was Bure 2.0, but he got the Ranger version of Bure. Could PD be exaggerating his knee injury, though? A reporter later asked talking about it and said the doctors thought it was fine for him to play. Yeah, see, we don't know the level of his injury, but I don't think that PD would do that to make an excuse, to be honest. All UFAs, thank you, let's talk. I agree with your definition. Just because some people don't call it first liners or top 6 doesn't change the definition. What's funny is Mikheyev still didn't produce in a middle 6 role. Yes, great point. Thank you for the agreement. We have to sign Zadorov just for his comedy. He's great. Victor, awesome. Oh, Gohorn was very excited to thank you, Victor. So, Victor, the $7 donation. Hi, Clay. If stars align, let's grab a Shintaro sushi one day. Okay, I would do that. Yes, Clay Munity. Huh? Clay Munity. It will be a date. Oh, thank you for all you do and late night shows. Well, Shintaro sushi, that's the one we're talking about in Steveston, right? Thank you, Victor. I appreciate that. Yeah, reach out. We can hang out for sure. Projected lines for 2026 Olympics. Who do you think has the edge? Oh, US because of their goaltending. I think and these are two elite teams. I actually give Canada the edge in forwards just by a bit. I give the US a small edge, very small edge on D with Hughes, Fox, McAvoy, and Trouba and all those guys. Although Canada will have McCarr, Taves, Pietrangelo, Theodore. So we'll see. And then I give a huge edge in net to goaltending to the States with Ottinger, Demko, and Hellebuck likely versus what? Skinner, Binnington, Fleury. I don't know. Yeah, let's give some love to Victor in the chat for sure. Devils hired Keefe, ripped up the 2-year extension they had with Leafs, and signed him to 4 that paid more than the 2. But 4 that annually paid more than the 2, or 4 that paid more than the 2, which would make sense though because it's 2 more years. I don't know. They just want to commit to him, maybe start fresh. But yeah, I agree with you that going the 2 years makes more sense. I do think Crosby will play in the 2026 Olympics because then he gets to play with McDavid and Bedard. Wouldn't that be sick? Won't have picks this year, but they might be busy considering they might want to dump Mikheyev and trade Hronek if they aren't close to a deal. Yeah, I think they're going to be busy regardless because of the other UFAs. Oh, Clay community equals Clay immunity. I thought you were granting me immunity, like for myself. Dumping Mikheyev and trading Hronek will be the more exciting than seeing the Final Four teams play for the Cup. No, to Tyler, would you consider signing Hronek for 8 or Montour in free agency for 9? Neither. I think both of those are overpays. I would go for someone cheaper if possible. Oh, yeah. Olympic men hockey team is the best. Yeah, the Swedish team should be good for sure. For sure. All right, guys. Last 2 or 3 minutes tonight. I can't believe it's already 11:57. I'm going to continue with these shows next week, just less frequent, but still same format. I'll talk for the first bit, then I'll turn it over to all of you. But I really appreciate all you guys being here. Okay, let's do this. For the last 3 minutes, I will highlight all your answers. I know I've talked about between my master's being done, 5 years of studying done now in the books, my religious education school every Wednesday night that I run, that's done for a few months now. And then, of course, the Canucks, unfortunately done. So I'm not going to games. I'm not watching games. I'm not creating as much content. So I have more time on my hands. My question to you, what is one thing? Don't give me your whole schedule. What's one thing that you are going to do with your newfound free time now? And I'm talking about specifically, I'm talking about your newfound free time not watching Canucks. Now that the Canucks are out of the playoffs, what are you going to do with your free time? I think Dakota Joshua does stay. But I think his stock went a tiny bit down in the playoffs, not up. What are you guys going to do with your free time now that Canucks are out? And we'll do this for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I am out of here. Angelo, watching basketball. All right. Sounds good, Angelo. More movies, maybe, or catch up on other TV shows. I like it. Not go to therapy. Okay, so this should be cheaper for you. Let's talk. What else we got? How are you gonna fill your free time? Darren says, clean my house or clean your house. Gotcha. NASCAR. Still watch a team hoist the cup, but then other than that, hanging with the fam, and then I don't know what else. More trips into nature. Nice. Crocheting and arts and craft and being sad every time everybody in Canucks are no longer play hockey. Yeah, that's true, Sarah. Get outside more, learn to play golf. Love it. More YouTube content and Euros Copa football. Awesome. I'll have to check out your channel. Watch the Oilers lose and be one step closer to them losing with Theodore Drive. Get out on my scooter more with friends and work. Awesome, Shannon. Watch more Blue Jays. I like it, Carol. I mean, I like it for you, not for me. Watching Blue Jays. Rest of the playoffs, focus on work and watching WWE. Indeed. Make more YouTube videos. Nice. Now you're talking my language. Work on my 2 beer league team rosters to get ready for the 2024-25 season. Nice, Victor. You're like the Patrick Alvina of your beer league. Stay busy. Yep. Wait for the documentary. I'm just here for the ride. Yeah, it's going to be on ESPN actually in June. As I think women's hoops. Yeah, all my appearances are front loaded. I have 4 appearances all in the first 20 minutes of the show. Really hope the Stars beat the Oilers and the team just falls apart. Bowling Tuesday League. That's awesome, Zachary. That's awesome. What doc? Oh, it's called I'm Just Here for the Riot. I'm not sure if ESPN's going to call it I'm Just Here for the Riot. They're going to call it Game 7, but it's the one done by local maker Cat Jamie, and I'm actually in it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I am, Ahmed. So yeah, for anyone who's new on the channel here, I shared about this ever since they recorded my footage. Yeah, I'm in the doc. I'm sandwiched between Luongo and Don Taylor. It's pretty cool. And I talk about the 2011 playoff run from a fan's perspective. Yes. So when you watch I'm Just Here for the Riot, when it comes out on ESPN, you will see me. All right, friends. Time for me to wrap up. Thank you. I'm not going to make this like a big swan song for the entire season, but obviously with the media availability, Canucks news, Canucks content is going to be less accessible to us. It's just going to be less prevalent. So we are left to watch the rest of the playoffs, do a awards watch, and then it's free agency. And then I'll give more updates about my availability in July and August. July is going to be a slower month on this channel for sure. All right, friend. Pink, you saw it at the Vancouver International Film Festival. What'd you think, by the way? Thank you. All right, friends. On your way out, moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. Thanks for your support as always, and to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Thank you to those of you who went above and beyond. I always mess that up. Justin for the $5 donation. Carol gifting 5 memberships. Matthew for the donation. Darren for the M, and Victor for the donation. Thanks to all of you once again for going above and beyond. And thank you to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate and Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. On your way out, you can subscribe, like the video, leave a late donation, gift a late membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, please rate and review. And I guess the next time I will see you will indeed be Sunday. So thank you to all of you for watching tonight. Thanks to all of you who've been so loyal to me, watching almost religiously. It's weird to use that word given I'm religious, but watching very loyally and faithfully. How's that? Throughout this entire season, it was a heck of a run. Still going to be creating content throughout the next couple weeks, a couple months. Probably going to change my approach a little bit, maybe, but we'll see. At least less live streams and maybe more daily update videos, even though there might not be a lot to update. But I'm still going to be here 2, if not 3 times a week, and I hope to stay connected with all of you. So once again, thank you for being here, not just tonight, but for this entire season. As always, stay safe. Stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. By the way, how many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to really want to change. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah.